I feel like I didn't deserve it. I feel like I didn't deserve to be a mom. I felt like I wasn't worthy of the title. I came from an abusive home, and which led me to my grandmother. And she kind of steered my path in the direction of God. And then once my mother won custody back of me, I was about 15, I moved back to Atlanta. But my grandmother, she didn't want me to go. I left. I went back to Atlanta with my mom. I was molested by my stepdad, and my mother never showed empathy, and she never protected me. And I was very angry, and I ran away. Got me a job at Chick-fil-A at 16 years old. That's when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter Ava. She's 5 now. I was pregnant by an older man who gave me a place to stay. Although he was still abusive, Ava's dad, living with him, it was a nightmare. He was controlling things I wear, just every little thing. I couldn't be myself. I had to hide who I was and be this person I wasn't, literally walking on eggshells. And Ava was about 1 year old, probably a little under 1. I ran away from him. I gathered up enough money. I stole a little bit from him, and I ran away, and I went back to my mother's house. I ended up meeting this guy, but we never got serious. We just been talking and knowing each other for 2 years. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing him more and more. And he wasn't somebody that I would say that, oh, hey, let's get married, or hey, let's have a kid. He was just something for me to feel. I was lonely, and I just needed something. And ended up finding I was pregnant. And he forced me to get an abortion. The nurse asked me, if you want to change your mind, you can walk out the door right now. And all I kept feeling in my head was, I want to walk out, but I felt stuck. I ended up still being with that person that forced me to get the abortion. I ended up pregnant again, and I don't know what changed that time. But as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I blocked him. I didn't tell him I was pregnant. I ran to the Pregnancy Research Center and got an ultrasound, and as soon as I seen the baby, I just knew. I just wanted to keep my peace. And then I found Embrace Grace. I opened my folder that the Pregnancy Research Center gave me, and they gave me a whole bunch of goodies. And I was in a Mexican restaurant, and I got a phone call from a woman named April introducing herself to me. And I was telling her I was thinking about adoption for the baby, because I didn't feel like I was worth being a mother because I had the abortion. I told her my story, and she gave me so much love. On the drive trip here, I had a lot of thoughts. I thought that, what are they gonna say? Because I was trying to think of something to say to make my story sound better when I actually tell them who I am. I'm not really an open person. I always try to hide those ugly things because I never talked about them with anybody, but I just didn't want to say the wrong thing. It was always just, try to relax. I was really nervous of meeting them, and as soon as I got into the room, I started crying because they didn't care what I had been through. They didn't care how I got here. They just was excited that I was here. That's something you can't buy. It's love, and I knew they cared for me. My baby is so loved here. I have had different women handcraft my baby blankets. Handcrafted, and that takes a lot of thought. You can go buy a gift, but to sit there and handcraft a gift for a baby that's not any relation to you or you don't know, it's a blessing to have that. And I was so shocked about not even just what they can give me, it's just them giving me knowledge and getting me back into God has been a life experience for me. This has been a great milestone in my life of maturing and finding my self-identity and knowing my self-worth. What I know different about God now is that God promises remains the same. He wants us to come to Him angry. He wants us to come to Him hurt. Even when we're hurt, He wants us to pray hurt. And I think that's the hardest part of being in a relationship with God, is that in our toughest times, in our waiting seasons, in our transitioning seasons, and all these different seasons that we go through, there's just not a period that it remains the same. You're going to go through times where this is going to flip-flop, and God still turns it around, because we're still going to have pain, even in relationship with God. And I had to learn this, because I always question Him, like, why do I have pain if I'm with you? But we're still going to have pain, but with God, He can get us through it. He can walk us through it. He can talk us through it, and it's okay. It won't last long, but pain without God is endless suffering. We fight with those words in the Bible. We fight with the Bible. That's why I try to memorize the scriptures, and that's what Embrace Grace taught me, is to keep meditating on those scriptures day and night, because that's how we fight our battles. We cannot keep trying to fight for ourselves. We will keep losing. And when God has fixed the fight, we will not lose, because God is in the midst. He don't lose.